Thank you for that.
Thank you. So I might move on just to the next slide, which is on the point source policy. So really this was the main point of this is that the current Waikato regional plan, the rules apply, the discretionary activity rule that large point source consents have been issued under over the last few years. That will continue to be the rule that large scale point source Australia's consents will be issued under. And these additional policies are can change. So they really say that it's important for the continued operation of regionally significant infrastructure and industry, and that's aligned with our regional policy statement. It talks about at the point of consenting that when point source discharges consents come up, they should be adopting the best practicable option, and that's already a concept within the Resource Management Act. And then if that is not practicable, to look at the option of offsets. So this really was acknowledging the diminishing returns that can occur when you're at a high level of treatment. The additional cost that is incurred may only result in a small additional water quality benefit. And so it was saying in those particular situations, there may be more cost-effective ways to improve water quality than to do a $50 million upgrade, for example. But that would really be on a case-by-case basis, acknowledging that point sources across the catchment are all at different levels of treatment.
And does that offset need to be on that property, or can that be used somewhere else?
There is, in the detail of the policy, it talks a little bit about where. So in the plan change, the goals for the water are set at a sub-catchment scale, which is those areas that you've got on the map. So ideally within the sub-catchment, I guess as close as possible, acknowledging that may not even be possible. So within the sub-catchment is the preferred location, but really again it's a case-by-case. What is the offset that you're looking at and what that can mean. So, and the other thing was that if, and as I just said, the sub-catchment loads and the short-term and the long-term targets need to be considered. That's all pretty standard in the resource consent process. And if all of these policies are adhered to, it talks about considering a 25 years or longer consent period, acknowledging the significant investment that is being done for that particular consent. So those were some policy directions that are now included in this plan change, acknowledging that the vision and strategy now, since it's been enacted, is a factor in consent decisions anyway. So this was adding a bit more guidance about how that might be through this plan change. Just checking on time, I've got a few more slides.
Just carry on, that is important. Don't carry on, please do.
So now I'd like to talk briefly about some of the ways that the collaborative stakeholder group try to understand the implications of this plan change. So there was this thing called scenario modelling. You may have heard about it. There's lots of numbers out there. I'd like to give you a little bit of context about the different work that was done, and then talk a little bit about what we think that this plan change might mean. So there were 3 rounds of modelling done. This was done by the technical leaders group, and they were all a little bit different. So round 1 was the first round, and the collaborative stakeholder groups described what do we want the water to look like. So they described 4 different futures for the water. One of them was scenario 1, and that was what they said. If the vision and strategy says swimmable and safe to get food from, what do we think that means in terms of measurable characteristics of water and numbers? So they described that. So that was called scenario 1. And there was another 3 scenarios, and they said to the technical leaders group, put that into your model, and when the model chose mitigations from what it knew, that was the cheapest way to achieve that water quality outcome, and then said how much does that cost. So the intention of that round of modelling was to give a sense of the scale of change to achieve these different water quality futures. So the results came back from that, and the results from scenario 1 was significant economic impact. long-term goal. So the model's got no time and no feeling. And so they said, well, what if we did scenario 1, and say that's 100% what we want to achieve, and then we did some steps along the way. So they did 100%, 75%, 50%, 25%, and 10% to get a feel for what's that journey like to get to where we want to be in 18 years. And so that really was kind of fleshing out the staged approach. And again, that was saying, this is what the water would look like, what's the cheapest way to achieve it on the land, and giving you a general indication of the economic consequences of that. And so that round of modelling was where CSG said, okay, in this 10 years, we're going to aim for the 10%, because the economic impact of that was still significant. Acknowledging that we need to start that journey to the 80-year goal. So that was round 2. So what the model had done was it had picked investigations and applied them where it was appropriate. And so the CSG said, well, that's useful information. We can get a feel for the types of actions that are occurring. But we're not going to take that and write it into a rule. What we're going to do, with knowledge in our areas and around policy development, we're going to come up with the policies and rules for plan change. So that's what they did. They said, we're aiming for 10%, but we're going to come up with the actions. And that's where the farm plan approach really came forward, acknowledging that all farms are different, and effectively writing a blanket rule was quite difficult, and the only one they really thought was appropriate was stock exclusion. So then they came up with lots of work for about a year on coming up with policies and rules, and then they said to the technical leaders, can you turn your model around the other way and now make the model do these actions and tell us what's going to happen to the water? Do we meet the 10%? And so that was round 3, and that's what we call the policy simulation. So we turned the model around, simulated what we think what the actions are in plan change, how we think that would apply with the different staging, and then tell us what happens in the water. So those are the 3 rounds of modelling. So from the policy simulation, the broad conclusions is that this policy will impact economic outcomes. It's requiring actions of people, those actions will cost money, and it's also restricting future options, and that compared to what may have occurred without this plan change means that there would be restricting some opportunities. So that's acknowledged. The costs that are incurred will vary across sectors and vary within sectors. The other side of this is that the policy will achieve the goal that it is intending to achieve as per the modelling results, which is a 10%, achieving the 10% from where we are now to the 80-year goal. One of the things that I mentioned earlier was the policy around flexibility for development of iwi land. So in the policy simulations, they modelled 3 different versions of development of land as well as non-iwi land development to understand the range of possible futures. And so what that showed was that obviously the development of land will have some effect on water quality, but the improvements are still substantial. The other thing, which is particularly relevant for this area, is the nitrogen low to come, or the lag effect, which is when nitrogen has leached into the ground, it's travelling through the groundwater but hasn't come up in the rivers yet. So what Dr. Bryce Cooper describes this as is the unfortunate reality of the N, and that it's already in transit, we can't suck it out, and it's going to take time, variable time, to express itself in the river. So what that means is that some sites in the upper Waikato, the water quality for N will be worse than it is now, because that nitrogen is coming, but it won't be as bad as if plan change 1 if it never happened. So the extent that increase is seen in the water will be dampened. The other important thing was that this plan change is setting out actions that are required in the next 10 years, but seeing them in the water will take time, and it's obvious based on the N that's, we know it's coming, the same thing, the benefits are going to take time to come through and be seen in the water, and that's really variable for the different contaminants. So E. coli has a much quicker response time, so getting stock out of streams has quite a quick response time. You may see that can't even say exactly when we would see that because of the complexity of the biophysical processes. So that's just acknowledging that when this model was run, it tells us the answer of this sort of magical end state where everything has worked itself out in terms of the time lags. But that's not what we'll see on day 10 years. It will take a while to express that in the model. So the last bit of the presentation, before we go on to some of the specific questions that you may have and a few things that we know are already on the mind, is talking about the Schedule 1 process. So this is something you may be familiar with. It's the same RMA process that all councils go through. So the name change was publicly notified on the 22nd of October. There is an extended submission period which takes us through to the 8th of March 2017. So anybody can make a submission. There's a number of ways that that can be done, whatever suits you. The process is the standard process. There will be submissions, they'll be summarised, they'll be notified, people can make further submissions, there will be a hearing. The hearing, the council will notify their decisions and then appeals to the Environment Board. So this is the standard Schedule 1 process going forward. There's a variety of bits of information that you might find useful. As Joe mentioned, the plan change is here in reception. It's in all the regional council offices, all the territorial authority offices and catchment and public libraries. So there's places where you can look at physical copies. It's available on our website. All of these fact sheets that you've got are also available on our website. And there's a number of tools that you might find useful. One of which is called Find My Farm. So if you go and you type in your address, it zooms to the area, you can click on it and it will tell you which priority sub-catchment that it is in. The other thing is, what does this mean for me? And it's a little survey or a questionnaire, and it asks you questions and can help you think about which rule out of the rules do you think you might fall under. So there's just a few tools and bits of information that may be useful. So what I might do is just pass it over to Joe. There were a few things that you had seen through that you had been thinking about. One of them was the certificates of compliance.
So thank you for the questions that we got through, and reading Patrick's background to you on the project. This is an excellent reference document, so congratulations to Patrick. It's really accurate, and it would have been an excellent briefing paper. So that would have helped in terms of the questions, and that's helped us sort of prepare this, and hopefully this has been useful for you. The regional council engaging with people. So we're now into the Schedule 1 process. What we are doing is Deborah and I and others are meeting with folks that do want to talk to us. But in addition to that, there are a large number of dairy dry stock workshops happening. I understand there's been at least 6 or 7 so far. There's another 15 to 30 planned. There's been at least 350 dry stock farmers attend some of those meetings so far, and talking to Mayor Brian Hanna from Waikato. He is fronting some of those, or he's attending some of those meetings, and he said some people are coming out of the woodwork that have never heard about this before, and so that's quite positive that people are engaging so that they can consider what the implications mean for them, and therefore hopefully put in a submission so that that can be canvassed. Waikato Regional Council is going to be running information sessions across the catchment from early December, and we're going to start publishing where those are and the time ranges from the 23rd of November, Wednesday, I believe, next week. So those information sessions will be published in a range of community and broader papers, New Zealand Herald through to South Waikato News, for example, Wednesday and next week, and also the following Wednesday as well. So those sessions will be 1st of December through to 8th of December. So the idea of those sessions is people can come and ask questions, can learn about what it means to them, and can also learn about the submissions process and how can they put a submission. They can ask questions around that, and hopefully it will enable them to participate in the process going forward. The other thing that Regional Council's done is it's co-funded a project with Federated Farmers and a few other people to look at the implications around the implementation of the plan change, and that is now publicly available. I think it came out earlier this week. It's on the Federated Farmers website. It shows what the range of costs would be in complying with this. The one thing to note about that report is, and we have been in discussion, is some of those costs are gold-plated, so I guess read it and you guys will be more qualified than I to sort of understand whether those costs are reasonable or not. In terms of implementation, so we've kicked off an internal project to develop an implementation plan in terms of funding the cost for implementation. That needs to go through our annual plan long-term processes. So what this plan will do is it will start to scope business activities required to support the implementation, and also to support the role of others in implementing. So this is something that Waikato Regional Council can't do by itself. It needs the sectors, it needs everybody involved in order to achieve this. They'll be looking at the estimated costs of doing so and how to resource to develop and maintain implementation. So this only works if it's implemented well, and we know based on what is in the paper and what's coming out of the courts from Horizons is that implementation is critically important. So that report is due to Council in early December. The next Council meeting is on the 15th of December. That's when they're going to be looking at the committee structures, and part of what a recommendation from the last triennium from the Healthy Rivers Committee is that they get re-established for this triennium with a different terms of reference, and their focus is on ensuring implementation and ensuring it's whatever comes out of the Schedule 1 process is implemented and water quality results are achieved. Certificates of compliance. So we did get a flurry of certificates of compliance prior to notification, and so they must be granted. It's not sort of something discretionary, but they are, I guess they are valid for 6 months after the notification of this plan change. So they're not treated as a consent that has a consent duration or a consent term. They are valid for 6 months, and within that 6 months, if you're doing an activity that was a permitted activity under the plan change that is now an activity that requires a consent, you must seek resource consent or apply for resource consent within the 6-month period. Now, of course, you can continue that activity until that consent application process has gone through its due process. But I guess for the certificate of compliance that have, thank you, there's a wee sheet on certificate of compliances for folks as well, if, just as a helpful reference. So Emma's just pointed out to me that once the rule becomes fully operative, then consent will be required. So at the moment, the land use consent is fully operative. The rest of the rules are.
And just to clarify, sorry, in my mind, this has been notified. If you've got a certificate of compliance, you can continue the activity that you are doing, but for 6 months in the meantime, if it is a non-compliant, for example, a forestry to farm conversion, you can continue clearing the land, okay, and while you get your consent.
So once the rule becomes operative, which is after the environment court,
yes,
maybe a technical process,
right.
whatever that rule becomes, if we just granted.
That's right.
So anybody who applied for a certificate of compliance and chose to exercise it would need to be aware that at some point in the future they are
We're
likely
going to.
need to apply for a resource consent.
Okay.
So that's a decision about risk really for that business model.
Oh, Councillor
I think that has huge implications, if I understand it rightly, and that because we're asking everyone to take actions that will achieve the 10% improvement, but there will, in the meantime, there will be people who are quite likely taking actions that contradict that. Is my understanding right?
So I guess no matter when this plan change came in, there would be people in that transition, and that was always acknowledged, that it had to start at some point, and there would be people in the process at various stages in the process along the way. So any land use that does change, they may be successful in a resource consent application, or they may be doing a change under a certificate of compliance. At the end of the day, we would expect that every property who is farming would be undertaking actions that suited their property to reduce their risk. So while that may be a lot more than the leaching occurring under trees, hopefully that would be the best possible use of that land and the best management of that land. So yes, there are people who are in the stages of transitioning, and I guess there was just no way that we felt that that could be avoided at any point when that would occur.
Could I just point out one thing? There's a memo that was left on our desk this morning, and the costs that are identified in there, my understanding is they are annual costs, but this document doesn't state.
So through that document was one in your agenda. That's an updated version because we, in the haste of trying to get that to you, because we just wanted to paint a full picture. There was some adjustments required, so that's an updated page. So page 27 of your agenda, that document has basis there.
Yeah, I was just going to say the cost saving.
Can I just make a comment, because we talked about the farm environment plans, and Federated Farmers, they did their project, and I've got a copy here. Some of the costs on the costs of the actually just the developing the plans themselves are up. Some of them $7,000, so they're quite significant. But then the on-farm costs of the actions, we're looking and at a maximum, it says here, of $785,000, and ranging from 425, 113, 62. Those are on the Ag First farms, that is a comparison, and the Frontier farms were at a high of 111,000. They are significant costs on our farmers. And have you got any comment on that? Or
So I'm aware that,
yeah,
so this is
that's
really,
right.
yes, this is also where we need to interrogate those costs. So I'm aware that the cost for the sheep and beef farmer at that 700,000 was for an 8-wire fence over your entire property, and they are a North Waikato hill farmer, so that's a significant. So an 8-wire fence is a significant cost, and on quite a big piece of land. So then,
but the requirement is that it is fenced, and hill country property is fenced. So
yeah. So whether you need an 8-wire fence or whether there's so what the rules don't say is how you do stock exclusion. It just requires stock exclusion.
And not of sheep, because that acknowledges that the cost of fencing out sheep is very large because they need
Yes.
yes.
But I think overall, your concern is valid. Overall, it is going to be costly to
especially because that is an economic driver in our community. Absolutely it is.
That's right.
And I know we've had figures bandied around of $40 million negative into our community each year on an annual basis. That is quite scary. Craig,
Yeah, just a question too, I guess, related to that. We appreciate the collaboration that's gone on at the region level. It's been significant. where does national government sit with this? And I assume you've been keeping them in the loop, and I'm just intrigued to understand where their heads at for it. And I also understand that it's their legislation that we're enacting, but it's, you know, that wipes out a New Zealand surplus, basically.
Yeah, so I think it's fair to say that there's mixed support at a national level, and we saw that coming through the 6-hour council workshop meeting that we had to decide on whether to publicly notify this or not, and there were a number of letters that Waikato Regional Council received from a number of ministers, some in support and some that were drawing, recommending caution. But I guess in the development of the legislation, what legislators don't get into is the implementation and where we are, where the rubber hits the road. And so in terms of the process of developing this policy, we've tried to ensure that those that are most affected have been involved in designing the solutions, and this is what's come out of the Healthy Rivers project, so this plan change. And the submission process and Schedule 1 process is so critically important for people to say, well, this is the reality of what you're asking us to do, and is this reasonable or not, and that will go through that Schedule 1 process.
Mr. Cabell.
I've got a question that follows on that collaboration bit. So background resource management consultant helped the district with their district plan. We moved down the debate about riparian management several years ago. We have a land use rule in now that manages the conversion process, sits as a controlled activity. We have to put that alongside the regional plan change non-complying activity status. Flipping this question of collaboration, I guess part of my task is to try and localise for this district the effects of these rules on the district plan and on the community, and part 5 of sustainable communities. So we've got a duty of care to interpret regional rules at the district level. How might the region help us do that and improve whatever submission process this district council submits on? Because the worst outcome is batting around a plethora of reports and numbers, as we've just seen with the farm environmental project work, which I downloaded last week. It does raise quite a lot of concern, and I guess we have to come to a view to help councillors form their view on the submissions. So I guess I'm saying there needs to be a lot of opportunity to look at how these rules, which are now legally enforceable, are going to be given effect through the district plan.
So I know our council's regional integration team have a direct relationship with South Waikato District planning team, and what I would encourage staff to do is to start talking, so and to start discussing those things.
Thank you for an excellent presentation, and much better informed now. South Waikato is a little bit unique in that we have the largest pulp mill and forestry fed in our district. We have the largest cheese factory fed from the dairy industry, and also the largest milk powder factory in the world, alongside Darfield, Fonterra side of Litchfield now. So for every dairy farm in our district who's concerned about this, there will be no doubt a forestry company that's pleased about Rule 7, in particular where you're trying to reduce the woody vegetation. So my question is about Rule 7. You referred to offset, for example, in your discussion around point source. We have the situation where